I'm on the morning from A to Z. Love is always the energy. And I will love you all equally. Wherever you might be. In a Janja University. I'm on the morning. From A to Z. Love is a dawning. And it's the energy. Really good morning. Well, you might be. Good morning. Love you all A to Z. I'm on the morning from A to Z. Love is always the energy. You know, we're one humanity. Oh, la, la, la. Ooh. Mhm. Well, this is a drive live into the modern day plantation. Love is always the vibration. You know, we are one human nation. No matter the situation. Oh, la, la, la. Oh, yeah, 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 yeah. Hey. This is the drive live into the modern day plantation. Love is always the vibration. You know, we are one human nation, no matter the situation. Oh, Lord. So we say giving thanks for life as always. Yes, life is the single most precious gift ever. And we also saying equally giving thanks for love, the greatest energy ever, in that life was given and shared among us in equal measure. Yes, love is the purest of pleasures, forward ever, backward never. Yes, better be wise always than being clever, and love must always be your endeavor. You see what I mean, my people? And as always, and at all times, love is the vibration. So we continue the celebration of the feminine energy again. Yes, yeah, for all of this week. Once you listen to me on this drive live here into the modern day plantation, love is always the vibration, sharing love and its associated energies. Love, you know, we're using, and we know for sure that love motivates us, inspires us. Yes, love is the greatest energy ever. Yeah? Yes. And we've talked about it many, many times. And so we're showing some love for the female energy. You know what I mean? We're broadcasting some love now. And we try to show that every single day. The feminine energy. And I always say that, you know, growing up as a young youth, when we grow up and in our villages and so on, in our districts, we socialize, in our socialization, we always like, it's like boys stick to boys, girls stick to girls. And, I was at my most foolish times then when it was like, a lot of playing with my brethren, male friends, all of them. And then it was like going to school, and there were a few girls in my community growing up, not a lot. So then going to school was my massive exposure to a lot of girls, and trying to understand females in a deeper way. And, from like, well, in my era, it wasn't basic school, it was straight to primary school and then into secondary school and so on and so forth. And there were lots of awkward times, And I can recall that the more I became comfortable in my skin is the more I associated that with my understanding, a deeper understanding of women. Yes, knowing how I fit in as a man, with women. And the more I became familiar with the feminine energy, um, outside myself, inside myself, is the better I became. Because it is set in nature, my friends, my sisters and my brethren. It's a law of nature. You can see it. Whether it's a law of nature or a reality of nature. Nurture is a big part of it because a lot of times we were, nurturing. Um, there's this debate of what's the overlap and how much overlap there is to nurturing and naturing. I mean, it's just nurturing, right? The nurture and nature, like, where are the lines and where the lines crossed, So but both are important respecting and honoring the natural landscape of how we are and what it is, and the male and the female energy, and then giving thanks for the nurturing, particularly of the mothers nurturing us. Yes, and then yes, the complementary energy with the masculine energy. But we're here celebrating the female energy, and for a great reason, because I think, and we know this, that God, being so far in this thing called life as humanity, the age overall of humanity, I think, yes, probably fairly young. How many years? I don't get me even started, because I don't even fully understand it. But the BC, the AC, and the ADs, and all these kinds of things before Christ, and all of that. However, we're still struggling. You know what I mean? We're still struggling, and we're struggling immensely to really put this thing in perspective and to honor the females in the way they're supposed to. And one of the reasons why we're struggling is because a lack of an understanding for self and an understanding for others. And so again, here this morning we're focusing on understanding the female, celebrating the female energy. You know what I mean? Understanding them and appreciating them more. Yes, blessings. And so, um, you know, the chant this morning that I'll be doing is called approval. Yes, approval. And so, quite aptly put, approving of the female energy. Yes, and yesterday we talked about, the chant was, talking about the girl, and encouraging this girl to rule with the God man. And the God man is the man who understands himself with a level of spirituality. So I want to zoom in this morning on the physical and the spiritual simultaneously. And I can attest to the fact that it's a beautiful thing when, as a man, loving a woman in the physical and in the spiritual, yeah, simultaneously. And there's no better feeling. There might be a comparable feeling, but there's no greater feeling. Generally speaking, when two or more humans come together and understand themselves fully, physically and spiritually, and share their energies, there's no greater feeling. And so there's no different, and equally great and magnificent and inspiring and sensational, is when a man, really loves a woman in this way, physically and spiritually simultaneously. So it's not just about sex, yes? And though sex is very important, and I say I have the sex chant to do, and I'm not doing it this morning, probably doing it tomorrow morning, because it makes sense. Because one of the biggest issues that we have is the appraisal of sex within the context of the female energy. And as men, we tend to make it be all about sex. And there's the same critique of women too, some women. So it's a generalization, but not all women. But then there's the tendency, because we're humans, and so there's a wire to us that, we're sexual beings. And sex is very important. I mean, we never need Maslow, the hierarchy of needs, to tell us that, but it is at that basic level, a part of that basic needs that we have. Yes, a part of our psyche. And it is why when we tend to suppress that, when we tend to suppress it, we not only get ourselves in trouble, meaning ending up raping and doing all kinds of manner of perverted things, but we ended up getting in all kinds of legal binds and problems, and then, and it's our lowest self. So we're ending up living at our lowest selves, not even providing the level of care, and making our relationships with women and vice versa being empty and just too physical. Remember, the physical is limited, and the spiritual is limitless, right? So the spiritual is unlimited. The spiritual is where is what we truly are. However, we have to tap into it. We have to activate it. So it's a beautiful, wonderful thing when a man can really love a woman and it's reciprocated in this physical and spiritual way. A balance we have to have. Yes. So the chant this morning is called approval. And so you hear people talking about even sex and this like sex being this topic. It's one of those very, very sensitive topic. And we're gonna develop a week for that to, just talking about sex and the divide of the male and the female. But we're celebrating the female energy this week, and it's about the female. So let's take care of our females. Let's appreciate them for truly who they are and not focus. We can disagree with behaviors, and we're not saying they're perfect because we're not perfect. It's not about perfection. It's the perfect imperfection. So let's not hate on women when they're prostituting themselves. Let's not hate on women when they get hyper emotional. Let's not hate on women, when they're a stickler for certain level of organization and they're more like, the nuanced version of the humanity, right? Let's not, hate them for that. Let's understand where that's coming from and know that that's, their energy is as important as ours. None is superior. So men, I'm encouraging us, ease off with the physicality. We have it. Let's celebrate our physicality, but know that we have to control it because we shall not, because when we're doing, when we're imposing our physicality on women, and anyone in abusing it, then it's out our worst selves. And that's why we have the wars today and all these terrible things happening. And it's triggered, it's instigated, well, not instigated, but it's executed more by men. Women play a role too as well in that. So I'm not here to take women off the hook because I say it's not a perfection thing we're about. However, we're celebrating women, and all of us, we have this claim to the perfect imperfection. So that means we have, unlimitless. So we have limitless, unlimited potential. Yes, blessings and love. So the celebrating the female energy, and we're encouraging men, and women to love the female energy a little bit more and appreciate it and understand it, and continue to celebrate it because we are better for it. Yes, blessings and love. The chant is approval. Yes, nothing like loving the female in this way, physical and spiritual at the same time. So it's not purely sexual, the chant says, right? Blessings and love now. Honoring the female energy among us, feminineness. Yes, it's all in us too as male as well. Yeah. Rasta, love is the energy. Oh, la, 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 la. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah. All right. Hi, girl. La, 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 girl. Your love is next to God's, girl. Oh, yeah. Hey. This is not purely sexual, more contextual. Please believe me, even more conceptual. Love she gives me has weird consensual. Always please me, excellent and effectual. Relieves my stress, oh so celestial. Physical yet, so spiritual. Love she gives me not just from a sexy girl. Uh-huh. Eh, uh-huh. Eh, ah, eh, ah, eh. Sound of approval whenever she asks me if I love soon, then later will ask me. Watch ya. Her love so sure, her love so pure and secure. Whenever she come, it's always a lot of fun. And I'm thinking that she done and she had to make her out. She said, no, my love, I have a ear can and I have a here to share with you until thy kingdom come. Ah, eh, ah, eh, ah, eh, ah, eh. Sound of approval whenever she asks me if I love soothing, will it ever last me? Ah, come. So let me hear the encore for a girl like this. No other girl in the world, no other girl like this. Let me hear the world roar for a girl like this. And jump on the floor for a girl like this. And all the men them adore a girl like this. Men, you sure better do more for a girl like this. Can't just be physical for a girl like this. You got to be spiritual for a girl like this. A girl like this always have the brightness made in the image of Jah. Always like this. I am. I am. I am. I Sound of approval whenever she asks me if I love you, then will it ever last me? Blessings. That's the chant. Yes, I'm at the plantation, so I have to get, going. And this is the end of another iteration celebrating the feminine energy among us. Blessings and love. And tomorrow morning is the same. We'll be celebrating, talking about different other aspects, but in the same intimate, vibration, because it's where we struggle the most. Blessings and love, blessings and love, blessings and love. Yes. Until then, we say hasta mañana. We say cuídate, take care. We say bendiciones, blessings. We say Dios te bendiga, Jah be with you all. We say vida larga, larga vida, long life. And we also say sino trata haga nada, which is nothing try, nothing done. Yes, so keep trying, my friends. Blessings and love. Until then, I, Rasta, love.